everyone and welcome to your latest tier list video. This time it's the valuations of the first team players at West Ham United. Hammer 1999 wrote in and suggested it. I'm not stealing it, he gave it to me, he gave me this idea, I liked it and I'm taking it. So I've got all the players for the first team of West Ham and I've got different valuations. So we've got less than 5 million, 5 to 10 million, 11 to 15, 16 to 25 and 26 million plus. So we'll go through them, we'll take a little look, and then you just can get involved as well. And what we might do later on in the week is almost like another community based one. Myself and Charlie did it with the sort of the status of the first team players, and I enjoyed it. I thought it went well, so we might do another one of these. So keep your eyes out if you want to get involved. So let's get stuck into this. Let's get straight into this. Arthur Masuaku, there we go. There's a controversial one to start with. What is he? 8 to 12 million. So I've kind of messed my categories up a little bit, haven't I? I'm going to have to pick one. I'll say 10 million. I'll say 10 million for Arthur Masuaku, which is a little bit more than what we paid. So that's good, right? He's gone up in price. He's gone up in value. That's what we like to see. I don't think he'll be worth much more than that. He's probably at his peak valuation since his time at West Ham. He'd have to have another really, really good season to be worth a bit more. And then a couple of seasons later, all of a sudden he's at the wrong age. So would I cash in on him for 10 million? I probably would, but I'm not his biggest fan. But I reckon £10 million for Arthur Masuaku, so stick him in there. And Mark Noble, he's going to be less than 5, isn't he? Because of his contract situation, his age, and his ability to some extent. So less than 5 million. No, not his ability. If he was 26, I don't know where I'd put him, 11 to 15 million maybe. But he's not 26, he's 33, so he's less than 5 million. I wouldn't sell him though. I would not sell him. If someone come in and bid 5 million, I'd be no, don't accept that. No. Sentimentality reasons, loyalty reasons. And sometimes in football, we too often put a price or don't put a price on these kind of things. And I don't think there should be a valuation in terms on loyalty or something like that. So I would reject any offer. Mark Noble's finishing his career at West Ham, but valuation wise, it's less than Mark Noble's worth to West Ham isn't pound notes. That's all I'm going to say. Right, let's move on. Let's just stick David Martin in beside Mark Noble as well. We don't need to discuss him for obvious reasons. Aaron Cresswell, I'll put him in the 5 to 10 million bracket as well because of his age. If he was a bit younger, he'd be worth a bit more. But I reckon he's probably worth around 8 million or something, maybe like that. Again, another player I probably wouldn't sell. I don't think. Sometimes in football, and I think this is what's lost on people too often, that actually the valuation, the worth of a player to a club isn't worth it for the buyer. So for example, West Ham, Declan Rice, we'll get on to him now, we'll just get him in straight away. Declan Rice is obviously worth more than 26 million, but we'll put him in the top bracket. But let's just say Declan Rice. David Moyes alluded that it would cost about 120 million to sign Declan Rice. Now, is Declan Rice worth 120 million to West Ham? Well, yeah, he is. But it doesn't mean he's worth that to Man United or Man City or Chelsea or anything like that. So if you're a fan of those clubs thinking, oh, he's not worth that price, that's okay. He probably isn't to your club, but he is to West Ham. And that's a bit like the Aaron Cresswell factor here. Is he worth 8 million to a other club? Probably not. But is he worth 8 million to West Ham? Absolutely. Hopefully that makes sense. Sometimes a player's worth to the club they're at in terms of, because you've got to replace these players, and that's why you value them more than what they are in terms of, if you were to take like an algorithm, a formula for working out a player's transfer market. If you go to transfermarket.com, that website, they try and do it using the length of a contract, the league they play in, their international exposure, so on and so forth. They try and come up with it, and usually it's a lot lower than what they should be, but that's because of what they're worth to the club. Anyway, I've gone way off tangent. I've not even started the video, so sorry about that. Declan Rice is in now, about 100 million. 80 to 100 million for myself. I would say 90, well, we'll go in the middle, 90 million for Declan Rice, but we'll put him in at the top there. Winston Reid is less than 5 million, isn't he? I don't know, a million, we'd be lucky to get that for him. Having a really good season with Brentford by all means, and it looks like he's staying fit and so on and so forth, so that's good. But his age, his wage demands, so on and so forth, he's not worth very much. 1 million quid. Right, let's get him in. Who we got here? Jarrod Bowen. Okay, here we go. This one's the most difficult one so far, because we paid about 20 million for him. He's not worth less. I think I'd put him in that bracket, 16 to 25 million. I would probably value him at low 20 million. That's what I would probably put him on now. But I wouldn't sell him for that, because I think he's could be worth a lot more for West Ham. If he hits a good run of form, his value goes up, simple as that. But the fact is that while at the minute he's not playing that well. He's been playing quite poor, but he's retaining his value around the 20 million mark. I would suggest that that's a very good thing, whereas we'll get on to someone else who's not retaining their transfer value because they're in poor form at the minute. But Jarrod Bowen, 22 million, I think that's the geo value. This is the geo value on these players, my way. Do I have to agree with it? This is what I think they're worth. This is what I would expect to get from them in terms of a transfer fee. Andriy Yarmolenko, he's not worth 10 million or more, is he? So is he worth any money? Yeah, I'm going to put him in the less than 5 million. I feel a bit harsh because his ability is worth far more than that, but he's on big wages. He's very injury prone. So if Yarmolenko was to leave this summer and someone was to say to me, how much do you think we've got for him? I think my answer would be we've given him away. Someone's just taking him off our hands because he's got 1 year to go in his contract. There's nothing about Andriy Yarmolenko by his ability which screams value. The only thing that is good value is his left boot, and I feel a bit harsh because while we signed him for 17 million or something, and while he will go down as a flop at West Ham, this transfer hasn't been a success by any means. However, I think if you were to go through his goals at West Ham, his match-winning goals, I wouldn't be surprised if he's repaid that transfer fee back by keeping us in the Premier League. That goal against Chelsea, that winner against Chelsea, was pivotal to us staying up last season. I don't care what anyone says, I'll argue till I'm dead. That goal changed our season. That goal was huge for us, arguably worth 60 to 80 million pounds or something. So I think he's repaid his transfer fee, but just injury prone, isn't he? It's a shame. Top player. We have a lot of players in less than 5 million so far. Maybe I'm just picking the easy ones. Who have we got next? I need to pick someone out. Mate, Fornals, I'll pick Fornals because he's definitely not in the less. Do you know something? This might be controversial. I'm going to put him in the top category, 26 million or more for Fornals. I reckon he's 30 million. I think 30 million is the price tag I'd put on his head. Possibly even more. He's still quite young. What is he, 24, 25 now? He's Spanish. Now, while everybody gives you the English sort of like reasoning for bumping up a player's value, which I understand, I do think Spain the Spanish is probably the second best nationality to have, because of the big clubs in La Liga looking at a centre midfielder or an attacking midfielder. Fornals would surely come out near the top of their list. They'd be looking at him. He's been involved in the Spanish setup and stuff. I think he's a fantastic player. He's a really, really good player. I think this is the wrong league for him. I don't think he's suited to the Premier League, but he's holding his own. And I think one day he will probably return to La Liga and he will go on to become a better player, because I think that league with the slightly slower pace, less physicality but more technical ability, that suits Pablo. He's got what requires over there in abundance. He's probably our best passer of the ball. That doesn't necessarily mean vision. It's before someone says, he doesn't create that much chances. I never said that. I said he's the best passer. Creating chances requires vision, and I don't know if he's got that in abundance, but he's certainly got the ability to go pass from himself to player B, possibly the best one in our team at it actually. And he's often, I think his biggest downfall is his best passes tend to be what you would call hockey assists, so he sets up the guy that gets the assist. So there's nothing on his, statistically there's nothing there to say that he's done anything and contributed to a goal. But Man City away, it was him that passed to Coufal, who put it in the box, and Antonio scored. So goal, Antonio, assist, Coufal. Pablo Fornals, who has a massive hand in the goal, nothing. Move along. So I'll slap 30 million on the head of Pablo Fornals, I think. Perhaps a bit chunky, but tough. Fabianski, his age, less than 5. I'm going to put him in I'm going to nudge him up. I would say 5 million actually, because I think we've seen, even if you're only getting him for a year or two, I don't think it's that bad value, because we all see Craig Dawson cost West Ham $1 million. Jesse Lingard has cost West Ham $1.5 million or something. That's for a season loan and half a season loan. So if you were getting Fabianski on loan for 2 seasons, is he worth? I say on loan, you'd sign him permanently for 2 seasons. Is he worth 5 million? Probably not actually. Maybe I have overshot Fabianski, but again, it's what he's worth to West Ham. He's our number 1 goalkeeper. He's regularly one of the best keepers of the weekend in the Premier League. I'm keeping him in there. 5 million is my thing though. While it's 5 to 10, 5 million is my valuation. I'm sticking on him. Coufal, well, he's definitely gone up in price. Signed for 5-6 million. Is he? I'll put him in there. I'll put him in there at 15 million. I think he's the top end of that tier though. Another season like this, and he might just go up a bracket and then come down again because of his age. What a signing he's been though. Never heard of him. We were linked with him a little bit here and there, then we were linked with a few other right backs and it went a bit quiet, didn't it? Fredericks got injured. Coufal was on the plane the next day. But what an absolute signing he's been. Runner-up for the Czech Republican Player of the Year, only behind Tomas Soucek, of course. Been outstanding for West Ham. I think he's in the running for a Hammer of the Year as well. But yeah, in terms of valuation, I'll say 15 million for him. So let's get him in there. Michail Antonio. He's one of these two, isn't he? He's not worth 26 million, but he's worth more than 10. So he's going in the middle. I'll put him in there. I reckon high teens. I reckon around about 18 million for Antonio would be what I consider a good valuation given his age and his injury proneness. But scoring goals one every 2.5 games or something at the minute, not a bad rate at all for a West Ham striker, because that's what he's playing. He's playing as a striker. But his age is what's going to keep his value down. Would I sell him? Depends on the offer. I'm open, for those that don't know, I'm open to selling any player, though I've always said every player's got a price in football. The question isn't would you sell him, the question is how much would you sell him for. I would sell Rice, I'd sell Soucek, I'd sell anyone, just depending on what the offer is on the table. But that whole thing fluctuates. If you say Rice is worth 100 million and Soucek's worth whatever I give him a valuation for, you'll find out later in the video. If I sold Rice, Soucek's price goes up because I've already just sold one key player. If I sell Soucek, Rice's price goes up. Not because Rice has got better, but because he's become even more important to my squad. Hopefully that makes sense. Anyway, Issa Diop. He's one of these two. He's over 20 million, but how much more? I'll put him in this one. I reckon 25 million-ish. That's why I've cut them off at the 25 million in that, because everybody likes to round up or round down to the nearest 5, don't they? It's just a thing we do with human nature. So I'm just rounding him up, rounding it to 25 million for this one. 25 million, which is probably quite low, actually. It's a little bit more than what we paid, so that's good. But he's been worth more than that. A couple of years ago, after his first season at West Ham, he'd been tipped to go into Man United for 50-60 million. And none of us, majority, didn't scoff at that as a valuation. As a West Ham fan, we thought, yeah, he's probably worth that. And I think he will be worth that again one day. It might not be at West Ham though. He might go somewhere else and become better. I think he's still a little bit shaky at West Ham, but 25 million is the valuation I would put on Issa Diop's head at the minute. Darren Randolph, yeah, I'll put him less than 5 million, a handful of million for him, I guess. What do you get for a mid-30s backup goalkeeper is he good enough for the Premier League? Debatable. I'm not here to debate whether they're good enough for that. I'm here to debate the transfer value. So I'm going to say 3 to 4 million for Darren Randolph. So whack him in. Ryan Fredericks, around about 5-6 million maybe. I'd put Fredericks at. We signed him on a Bosman, didn't we? We've got him for free. 5-6 million. He's a utility player at West Ham, isn't he? So that's where I would put him there. But again, I wouldn't necessarily sell him for that. I would have a year ago, but I think he had a good season last season. I think he done quite well against Villa. That was probably his best game of the season, marking Jack Grealish essentially from a right wing position. But what he did show was that actually we can use him, and given how sketchy we've been with the back four, it would suggest that perhaps we need to play 3 at the back a bit more often, and if so, that creates the right wing back role, which Fredericks is probably his best position. So we now have his best position available for him. Coufal will have it obviously, but there might be some games where centre back's unavailable. We have to move Coufal back and put Fredericks in. I don't know why I'm discussing Ryan Fredericks' squad status, but 5-6 million for him there. Hang on a minute, I've messed this up. I wonder if some of you people spotted this. Do you know when I put Fornals in? I didn't. That's Lanzini. This is Fornals down here. I should have noticed with the tattoos, but it just looks like Fornals' head for some reason. Oh no, right, let's get Fornals in there for the reasons I explained, and let's get Lanzini out of there, and I'll put him in here. I reckon 12-13 million for Lanzini, which is a bit disappointing, but not as disappointing as getting Fornals and Lanzini mixed up. I've done a right Obiang, Ogbonna, David Gold style thing here, haven't I? Jesus. Anyway, Lanzini, 12 million or something, which is probably what we're going to be trying to do in the summer. We're probably going to be trying to get 12 to 15 million for Lanzini, which is a shame. He could have been worth a lot more, could have been a lot better. A big part of this squad, but injuries, it's just not worked out for him. Disappointing. Tomas Soucek, obvious. Let's get him in the top one alongside Lanzini, and Declan Rice. Tomas Soucek's value, though, it's going up. And it's going up almost every week. I discussed this a couple of weeks ago, and I said about 50 million. Since then, he scored a goal for West Ham against Arsenal. He scored a hat-trick for Czech Republic. And that has to play on. That has to have an effect on his valuation. I don't care if it was against Estonia and Arsenal. Similar ability, aren't they? But I would say 60 million for Soucek right now. Would I sell him for 60 million? Probably not, because can you replace him? And I don't mean for 60 million. I mean in general. Can you replace Soucek? It's a very unique role. He is a very unique footballer. There's not many midfielders of that ilk around. So 60 million is what I would put on him for the sake of the video, but I'd almost feel disappointed to get that, if that makes sense. 60 million though. Right, let's move along. Who we got? Felipe Anderson, a bit like the Lanzini or Fornals around about 12 to 15 million, 12 million maybe. And what a fall that is, what a fall. We probably paid high 30s for him. I know the deal was worth 42 million, but we've not paid it all because he hasn't done everything. He hasn't won anything or that, so we won't have had to pay the add-ons. But we're still looking at a 20 to 25 million pound loss on Felipe Anderson. Unlike Jarrod Bowen, he hasn't held his value. He's gone to Porto, his value is depreciating every month that goes by where he doesn't really play for Porto at all. He needs to get out of West Ham. West Ham need to get him out of West Ham. Value wise, 10 to 15 million, and a big mistake, a big lesson. That's what we're getting for it. Right, who else have we got here? So we've got Balbuena. I'm going to put him in the... Well, he's out of contract, so he has to go there because he's not worth it. But let's just play a hypothetical game here that Balbuena has a year to go in his contract. I'm going to put him in the 5 to 10 million. I think he's a good, solid centre-back. I think he's alright. I don't understand why we're letting him leave, because it's going to cost quite a bit of money to replace him unless we have something lined up. But yeah, decent centre-back, Premier League standard, easy. So 5 to 10 million for him. And we've got Ogbonna. I'll put him in the 5 to 10 million purely because of his age. If he was 5 years younger, he'd be in the 26 million category. He'd be at the top category of Ogbonna because he is just unbelievable. His value's gone up since he got injured, because since he got injured, we've seen our defence get poorer, and that just shows how good Ogbonna is, how important Ogbonna is to West Ham. So his value's actually gone up in my head. I put him in the 5 to 10 million bracket. I'd value him at 8 to 10 million maybe, just because of his age. And we paid about that for him, to be fair, so we wouldn't be losing out, and we'd have had the best years of Ogbonna at West Ham as well. So it's been a really, really good transfer by West Ham, that, and possibly one of the more underrated transfers of recent times by West Ham. Coufal will obviously get the plaudits, but bear in mind, Coufal was probably only a couple of million less than what Ogbonna cost us, and that is an unbelievable capture by us. Getting him from Juventus, got back into the Italian squad as well. 8 million quid. Let's stick 8 million pounds on him. Craig Dawson, I put him in the 5 to 10 million as well. We're signing him for 2 million, aren't we? Well, 3 million include his loan fees. So we've got a bargain. He's gone up in price like that. For about 8 to 10, again about 8 million. I think he's a solid Premier League proven centre back. That's all there is to it. He's not going to get any better. He's not going to get any younger. So I think his value is only going to de-appreciate from here on in. But a fantastic signing for us. That leaves 3 players. Ben Johnson, I'll put in the 11 to 15 million. Now, a lot of people might think this is a bit high. but I'm taking into consideration his potential here. I would probably value him at around about £12 million as well, because it's a bit like the Griddy Ghana factor, isn't it? You're not just purchasing Ben Johnson today, you're purchasing Ben Johnson today plus what he could be. And what the could be bit is obviously debatable, of course. And what we as West Ham would say, well, what you're buying is someone that's going to be a solid Premier League fullback that can play either flank for a very long period of time, and therefore he's £12 million. And that, as the buyer club, you're hoping that would happen. And if it does, you've got a bargain at £12 million. If it doesn't, you will still be able to sell and get most of your money back. So £12 million is what I would rate Ben Johnson at, which is perhaps a little bit high, but I'll stand by it. This is the Geo valuation. Right, two more. Jesse Lingard. I'm pretending Jesse Lingard is a West Ham fan. He's permanently signed. So what's Jesse Lingard worth? I'd put him in, I reckon 16 to 25 million. I'll put him in there, around about 20 million, which is probably what we're going to pay roughly. But 20 million is what I would also look to get if we were to sell him. Outstanding signing, hopefully. Outstanding loan signing. I know he got man of the match for England, but come on. We're making a lot of it, aren't we? Got man of the match against a San Marino. I think I could get man of the match against San Marino. But anyway, it's good for West Ham. It keeps his confidence up. 9 goals or assists in his last 8 games for club and country. It's an outstanding contribution for him. Nominated for Player of the Month again in the Premier League 2 months running. So this loan move has just been a complete success already for Jesse, and I'm excited to see him hopefully becoming a permanent fixture at West Ham. But I would value him at 20 million quid. Now that leaves one guy, Mr. Said Benrahma. He should be in the top category. I'm going to put him. Well, he's definitely in one of those two, isn't he? He's not worth less than 16 million. He's worth 20 something, isn't he? Is he worth 26? I'll put him here. I think I would probably. Whoa, what's going on my page? Stay still, thank you. Yes, I'd put him in there. I would say round about what we're paying, which is 24, 25 million. I'd put him in that category. His value's not gone up nor down, neither has his sort of progress. This has been a bit of a, so far, season to forget somewhat for Said Benrahma. He should be worth more. He should be in that top category. But he's not. He's not had enough minutes, and when he has, arguably, debatably, he's not done enough to justify getting more minutes at West Ham. So I'll put him in there, around about 25 million. Anyway, there you go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Let me know what you think of my valuations, and give me your valuations in the comments below. We might do a live tier list. We might do a live community one where we get the tier list on the screen like we did the last time. And we get the player. We'll go through the players one by one and get your comments as well. Not just your valuation, but your comments justifying said valuation. We'll go with the majority and whack them in and build a Hammers Chat community tier list valuation. We'll do that this week. I enjoy it. I want to do more community based videos. But if you've enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe if you're new. I'll catch you in a bit.